Does your financial advisor have a strategy to reduce risks in your finance? Do you know how Captain Dhoni got the results that he actually got? Watch till the end to understand a bit of a strategy. Very recently, Dr. Aaron Carroll wrote a wonderful article on COVID-19 and personal risks in New York Times. In the article, he dove deep into how we as humans assess the risks of day to day life and how that assessment absolutely doesn't match up to the realities of real life consequences that we all face. His central point is risk in most areas of life is an additive and not all or nothing. This is something we all get it wrong most of the times, and especially in finances. Here in this video, I talk about 4 different strategies to manage your risks on finances. First, put some sensible limits on things. Rather than looking at your choices as all or nothing, try putting some reasonable limits to things and follow that diligently. Now, you may question saying, why will this work? Like most things in life, there is something called fulfillment curve in play. By not spending on something that you love, you may lead to misery, and if you overdo it or overspend on something, it quickly leads to depreciating returns, whereby it becomes a routine, thereby losing its appeal. So instead of having choices as either or, we tend to forget that there is something called happy medium. So always try to set limits on certain things upfront and follow those limits strictly. The second important strategy is to automate as much as possible. One of the key elements of risk that we all tend to forget is that our own poor decision making in the heat of the moment. So, for example, we all come out with these great investment plan, but we forget to invest during one of the months. You would have come out with a great debt repayment plan, but you forgot or missed the early debt repayment. One of the easiest and the quickest way to turn this around is to automate as much as possible. You should come out with a good financial plan, and the immediate step is to automate the choice going forward. Scheduling a repeated task just makes it easy to do it and just stick to it with very little thought or decision making. So we call this time blocking or block scheduling. The third important strategy is to diversify your investments and personal choices to match your risk profile. I'm sure you've heard it many times, but let me give you a different perspective. All of us have different risk appetite both in life and investments. It is not primarily because of how I internally view the world, but it is because of how I live my life. For example, a person with a kid will view COVID risk very differently from a single, healthy, and fit individual. This is not because of internal reasons, but because of how many things he has to deal with or be concerned with right now. Everyone values life differently, and so is the risk when it comes to investments. Few people naturally have the ability to withstand risk and also incrementally change the risk as their life progress. The key here is to understand the choices that you need to make, really understand your risk profile, and then make personal choices. You don't really have to follow the recipe and the steps given by your financial guru or your friend next door. All you have to look for is informations, not just to reinforce what you already know, but to give you a clear choice, stick by the decision, and be confident about it. The fourth and the most important strategy is to focus on the process than immediate results. This is my key learning from Captain Cool Dhoni.
Well, you always try to address things. It's not always supposed to go your way, and that's why what we try to see is going back to the process and seeing whether the process is wrong, or maybe we were not able to execute, or how the performance was on the field. So result is always a byproduct of the process.
His ability to stick to a process until unless there is an outcome, whether positive or negative, is commendable. Even when he lost his 200th IPL match to Rajasthan Royals, he said, we believe in sticking to a process to really understand whether the process is wrong or execution. A final strategy is to look at a big picture with all these single, small, individual decisions and to focus on the process than the results. A dietary example is very fitting at this moment. A lot of people want to see immediate results the moment they make dietary changes, but the fact is, it takes time. It is better, therefore, to focus on if this decision which I'm taking today will help me in my overall picture. When it comes to finances, many people give into the temptation of purchasing for the moment. It is always better to step back, look at the bigger picture, and see or balance if this particular decision will match up to your overall financial goal that you have set for yourself. Always remember to focus on the overall picture than looking at giving in to the moment. At Augment Capital Advisors, we use proactive asset allocation using risk per return framework to understand whether we need to buy, hold, or sell an asset. I'm sure your financial advisor has a process in place. Please do subscribe to our videos for more and more learnings, and thank you for watching.